The United States didn't just beat Paraguay 6-0. They systematically broke them down. And it wasn't random, it wasn't just athleticism, and it definitely wasn't luck. In this video, I'm breaking down the offensive structure, the midfield rotations, Sentnor's influence, and how the US dominated the half spaces to create chance after chance. If you want to understand why this attack worked and what it tells us about where the United States women's national team is heading, then let's get right into it. So first things first, their starting lineup and quote-unquote starting formation. I put quotes because oftentimes these streaming platforms, Peacock or HBO Max or wherever you're watching, they put out the lineup, and this is exactly what they showed us, that the United States was going to be playing in a 4-2-3-1, or some people like to see it as a 4-5-1, but that wasn't the case, especially when the United States had possession of the ball. So what was their overall shape when in possession of the ball, aka the attacking phase? So again, this is what we were seeing, but this is what it would morph into, a 3-4-3, or some people like to look at it as a 4-diamond-3. And what you would notice is that Rodriguez stepping high and wide, covering this wide area, Rodman doing the same thing on the opposite end, staying wide with the diamond here in the middle, with Hutton usually being that holding mid, Moultrie on the outside diamond, Labonte on the outside diamond, and Sentnor typically being that top of the diamond, the attacking position, the attacking midfield position, the number 10. But what was cool about the United States was how they would swap and rotate. So this is exactly what I'm going to show you right now, the midfielders rotation. This was so unique, and I think this is why the United States had so much success breaking down the Paraguayans, because this kind of movement made it very, very difficult for the Paraguayans to keep track of where each player was, who they should be on, and again, just drove the nuts and slowly broke them apart. And in the first half, the United States didn't score many goals, but I believe that because they broke them down so much in the first half, it made it easier for them in the second half. So again, just showing you here how that diamond would morph into a square, a rectangle, all sorts of geometric shapes. I wasn't that good at geometry, so you can figure out what these kind of shapes were. Going from a small diamond to a wide diamond to a rectangle to a square, from one holding six to two sixes with Labonte and Hutton, to two attacking midfielders with Sentnor and Moultrie, just really morphing into different shapes. And what was cool is how these players adapted to each other, how they played off each other. A lot of coaches call this relational style football. Where am I in relation to my teammate? Where should I adjust? Where should I position myself in relation to my teammate? So this is really cool to see in action. And it wasn't just how they morphed and how they rotated within their shape, but also how they swapped positions and how they assumed different roles. And when they did assume different roles, how well they still played and how they kept up the momentum and the team's attacking shape. So oftentimes you would see Moultrie jumping in to be that other number 10, swapping with Sentnor, Hutton often switching with Labonte to be that single pivot, or oftentimes they would go to a double pivot together. And in some instances, Labonte switching with Giselle Thompson and Giselle coming into that outside diamond role. Again, all these players, as they were swapping, they just kept the game fluid for the United States. And again, because so many rotations, so many shifting, so many morphing of their midfield shape, so many swaps, it just made it difficult for the Paraguayans to keep track. And slowly but surely, you'll see how the United States essentially pulled the Paraguayans apart from being compact to spreading wide, and then seeing how that led into gaps, especially within the half spaces, which we'll get to in a second. But I want to really touch on Ali Sentnor and her influence on the game, especially when they were attacking. This girl, I think she's going to be big for the United States moving forward. She is so good, not only on the ball, but off the ball. She was instrumental, and oftentimes going into those half space pockets right next to Turner, essentially becoming that second striker, and finding those positions and jumping into different spaces depending on where the ball was and where she felt like she was needed. But she was very instrumental. And what's cool is that in the second half, when she was moved into the 9 spot, Croy, I believe her name is, She jumped into this position and essentially did exactly what Sentnor was doing and did it very well as well. And when Sentnor became that striker, she did that extremely well as well. But this is how the team kind of adapted to where she was, which is really cool. And I have some clips to show you. And last but not least, the pitch coverage. The half spaces were crucial for the United States in this match. They took advantage of those areas, those pockets, and a lot of their threat and I think most of their goals, if not all of them, came through the half spaces or close to it. And this is kind of how they assume their positions within the Paraguayans' half. Oftentimes you will have Rodriguez and Rodman really being wide and holding that width for them. Sentnor and Moultrie within those half spaces, Labonte and Hutton usually hovering between the central channel and the half spaces. And you'll see again how crucial those half spaces were and how they really penetrated through those areas. So super, super cool to see, and I have some clips to show you guys. So first and foremost, take a look at their shape here. It's a 3-4-3. In this case, this diamond is looking a little wonky, but as I mentioned earlier, that diamond morphed into different types of geometric shapes. But here we have Izzy holding wide, and this on the left side, and Rodman holding wide on the right side with three back here. Again, just showing you the overall shape, especially when they had possession of the ball. And jumping forward here really quickly, just to show you that when the subs came in, essentially the shape stayed the same, a three back with the diamond here in the middle and essentially the three forwards here. In this case, Sentnor, like I said, she became their number 9, their number striker, and Croy top of that diamond. And here really quickly, when they were building out their shape, there goes that diamond morphed into this lopsided diamond, if you will, and you're going to see some of the rotations. But again, Hutton here holding that bottom of the diamond, that 6th position, Izzy out wide, Moultrie and Labonte in the outside diamonds. But in this case, Labonte, you're going to see that she takes note that Sentnor is coming into that wide diamond position, so maybe she should be taking that top of the diamond position. Again, just playing off each other, understanding where each other is, and just being so fluid and natural about it. Made it very difficult for the Paraguayans. There goes Labonte, and there goes our diamond again. Super, super crucial, super important, that rotation, the swapping of positions. Again, made it super difficult for the Paraguayans to keep track of their players when defending. Here we have the diamond again, but did you notice it? Did you catch it? Labonte, where Giselle typically is, Giselle is up here. Again, swapping, supernatural, but keeping that shape, understanding that when you assume that role, what you need to do. And in this case, just going beyond the tactical shape, Hutton doing a good job of seeing Rodman out wide, being left in that 1v1 situation with all that space in front of her. Giselle in this instance underlapping, Sentnor in the right spots to be there just in case. Off the ball movement by Sentnor. I'm going to be saying that often for this video. Check it out. The diamond or the rectangle or the rhombus, whatever you want to call it. I was never good at geometry, so you can figure that out. But here goes our 4 in the middle, essentially doing a rondo against the poor Paraguayans here, isolated by themselves. There it goes, highlighted them. Just crucial, making it difficult for the Paraguayans. This clip is super important. Check it out. There goes the shape. Sentnor off the screen here somewhere over here, but top of the diamond. The 3 back, Izzy stepping up high and wide. Just showing you that shape. And look what that causes to the Paraguayans to really be separated. Oftentimes when you're defending, being so spread out is not usually a good thing. You would like to stay compact, ideally. And check out Sentnor off the ball movement, becoming that second striker, as I showed you in the tactics board, what she loves to do, especially within what space? The half space. Rodman holding wide. Check out where that ball comes through. What part of the pitch does that ball get into? And where is Sentnor in? The half space. Very, very crucial. Makes him very threatening. And I think in this instance she was offside, but check it out. There goes our lopsided diamond, just as I was showing you in the tactics. Rodman holding wide, which brings this Paraguayan defender's focus, which creates this opening here. Izzy holding wide out here, which brings this Paraguayan defender's focus, which creates all this separation, creating the Paraguayans to be really spread out from each other. So good job from the United States on doing that. Again, I think she was caught offside, but very threatening and oftentimes off the ball movement from Sentnor to get into positions like this. And here we go. We're going to show some field coverage. Here we have Rodman, like I said, out wide. Izzy out wide on this side. Moultrie in the half space with Labonte in that half space. And 1, 2, 3 U.S. players within the central channel. Again, just covering part of the pitch, ensuring that the Paraguayans cannot really stay compact because they're so focused on the players and getting spread wide. There goes our 4 in the middle with Sentnor higher, acting as that second striker. Moultrie in that half space. Ball coming through to our girl Sentnor, which was my favorite player of the game. I had to say it. I had to say it. Here goes a quick little clip just showing you Moultrie checking her shoulder, seeing where her teammate Sentnor is. Realizes that Sentnor is more on that outside diamond, indicates her, stay there, I'll take this position for now. Just subtle things that the United States players do, and players like Moultrie, that communication just to notify to each other, hey, you stay there, I'm gonna assume this position now, and just clear communication between them. And it just shows they're comfortable with each other, and again, this is gonna take them a long, long way. Here we go, double pivot in this case, creating that box midfield or rectangle, whatever you want to call it. But like I said earlier in the tactics board, the 2 10s, the 2 pivots, again, just morphing, making it super, super difficult for the Paraguayans to keep track of them. And again, this is what broke them down slowly but surely. Rodman holding that width. Izzy is off the screen, but somewhere over here, making sure that this player is focused on her. Again, just creating those big gaps between the Paraguayan defense, creating these gates where oftentimes the United States found penetrating balls through. Check out where Moultrie is in that half space position where you would often see Sentnor in, but Sentnor is assuming this role, so they swapped in this instance. Again, so fluid, and they do it so naturally, and they play off each other, and they understand each other so well, which is really cool to see. Within the United States' half, here goes that rotation, that box midfield, the 2 6s in this case instead of the single 6. There goes our lopsided diamond or our lopsided rectangle, however you want to see it. But you see it there clear as day. Rodman holding with over here. And check it out, Sentnor off the ball movement, jumping off the top of the diamond to find that half space, those pockets. In this case, I don't think she finds the ball, but just off the ball movement, making it difficult for the Paraguayans. Check out the entire midfield rotation and how they swapped. We have Sentnor on the outside diamond, Labonte top of the diamond, Moultrie right side outside diamond, and Hutton at the bottom of the diamond. In different positions from where they started. Hutton now stepping into that half space spot. Labonte realizing that her teammate Hutton went into that position, so now I'm going to be the bottom of the diamond. So fluid. Did you notice how natural and smooth that was? Super cool to see. Here we go. Remember how I said diamonds go from being small, more compact to wide? Check out how wide this diamond is from our 4 midfielders. And look what it does to the Paraguayans. Essentially, it's a giant rondo here. 4v3. And look at the space between those Paraguayans. Again, making it super difficult for them. Labonte on the ball here. Check out where Sentnor's finding that pass within the half space, Rodman in that wide space, Izzy in that wide space, and Moultrie on this side in the half space. Good job to switch the point of attack. Izzy still holding wide, Moultrie in that half space, and where does the ball come through? Or go into? The half space, a threatening area. Check out, what shape is this? You guys tell me on this one, but that's our 4 midfielders. Like how it morphs. Look at that movement from Sentnor. So good off the ball. So good off the ball. On the ball and off the ball. And check it out. Not only do our midfielders do the swapping and rotation, the entire team knows how to do this as well. Check it out. Rodman is typically the one holding width. In this case, it's Giselle. Rodman recognizing that, she's going to get out of Giselle's space. I'm going to cover now the half space, which is where Rodman is. Again, so fluid to play off each other and understand those roles and when to switch and when to swap. Here's another rotation. Check it out. Usually Hutton's the one receiving at the bottom of the diamond as that pivot, as that 6. This time is Labont. And where is Hutton? Check it out. Outside of the diamond where Labont typically was. Again, just rotating, making it difficult, making it more complex for the Paraguayans. And here's a little transition moment to attack. They win the ball quickly. Check out Sentnor off the ball movement. Rodman holding that width. Sentnor becoming that second striker. Off the ball movement. Hard work rate. The effort she does to get there. Unlucky. And oftentimes, well, before we get into it, there goes that diamond again. Super wide this time. Spreading the Paraguayans apart. Check it out. Off the ball movement again by Sentnor into the half space. And oftentimes you would see Giselle and Thompson on the right side on the same line, unless they were higher up the pitch. But there were a lot of balls played into space just like that. And check out where Sentnor received that ball in the half space. Some more Sentnor action here. Praising this girl a lot. Check out that diamond once again. Rondo against the two Paraguayans in the middle there. Just a beautiful little rondo there. And check out Sentnor. Check out her movement. Understanding where the space is. What is the Paraguayan doing? Stepping off her line, leaving all this space behind. And what does that ball get threaded through? The half space once again. And guess who's behind it to deliver that cross? Our girl, Sentnor. So good. I've got 2 more examples of these half spaces. Check it out. There goes our diamond, our box, our rectangle, whatever you want to call it. Clear as day. Here we go. 2 players essentially within the half space, Rodman holding that wide area. Where does Sentnor receive the ball? Within the half space. And we go forward. To that 1v1. Ooh, threatening, getting in the box. Good job. Here's another half space example. Moultrie finding it within that half space. Again, super important for the United States to play through this. It was part of their game plan. Izzy holding wide. Check it out. The understanding between these two. Sentnor now going into that half space position. Moultrie going into that central channel. Again, making sure they're covering all parts of the pitch. Hutton out here now. Where are all our midfielders? The 4 of them. Where are they? Doesn't matter because Giselle sees Rodman on this side, sees that half space, and kudos to Giselle for, look at that, dime, a diamond, a dime of a pass. Check it out. 1, 2, 3 players ready to be on top of that cross. Giselle, is she underrated? I hope she's not because I think she is so good. So now let's get into some of the goals. This first goal really just came out of a corner kick and a little transition to attack. Caught the Paraguayans off guard in the first half. Good job by Moultrie to see that little pocket and find Turner there. And good job by Turner as well. The angle wasn't the easiest, but she found the pocket that the goalkeeper left open. And good job for her. This next clip, here we go. A little bit of a few things happening here. Moultrie picking it up, that outside diamond. Here we have Croy who assumed that number, that attacking mid position, the top of the diamond. She saw a lot of space open. Unfortunately, Moultrie either saw it and realized that she couldn't throw the ball through, or she just didn't recognize it. Either way, this thing ends good. Again, being patient, good job. Moultrie finding it again, little 1-2. Check out that space open again. And who finds that space? Who identifies that space? Not only does, is that still Izzy? I can't remember if that's Izzy, but Sentnor as well to recognize. Whew. Half space ball. What a finish. What a finish. Let's go to the third goal. Here we have now, Croy is on the outside diamond. Again, swapping roles. Even the subs understand that. Moultrie, top of the diamond, as that number 10 position. Good little turn. Lots of space there. Didn't find it. Sentnor checking off her number 9 position, but Moultrie still holding wide. Again, just understanding where each other are, understanding where your teammate is. Relational football. Love to see it. Where does that ball, where does it end up? You got to say it. They have space. Little cross in. Unfortunately, an own goal. I would have loved for that to be given to Croy, but unfortunately, it was an own goal. Check this out. More rotation, more position swaps. Rodman still holding wide per her instructions from the coaches. Check out Giselle and Labont. They have swapped. Labont is where Giselle typically is, that outside back, right center back position, with Giselle on that outside diamond. Again, not afraid to swap, not afraid to assume a different position and do it just as well. And by the way, that pass is like Tom Brady into the breadbasket. Look at that. Perfect. Into what part of the pitch again? I know you want to say it because I want to say it. The half space. And Rodman doing what she does best. That goal was great. That little dance, even better. This next goal, I love this next goal. Giselle, top player. Check it out. Rodman holding that width again on that field, drawing the focus of this Paraguayan defender, which causes separation between the center back and the outside back. And Giselle and our girl, Senator. Look at that. I don't know what was better, the pass from Giselle or the off-the-ball movement by Sentnor. And to recognize that, I don't know what's better. You guys decide. That finish, though, super clean, super good. Here's another angle of that goal. Check it out. Here we go. By the way, small detail, but super important for our girl Sentnor to not be offside. Off the ball movement, off the ball details. She bends her run ever so slightly to be onside. She indicates to Giselle, check out all this space being left here. You should feed me the ball through there. Check out this Paraguayan defender stuck on our girl Rodman. I don't know if she's mesmerized or what it is, but she's focused on Rodman, which creates all this entire gap here. Check it out. Easy enough for our girl Giselle to identify, for our girl Sentnor to identify. Easy money. Easy does it. Put it away, girl. Last and final clip here. I'm just going to let this one through. A little bit of possession. United States lose the ball, quickly regain it. A little transition to attack. And Sears doing what she does to put it away. Lose the ball there, make it hard for the Paraguayans to come out. They're fatigued. They've given up at this point. They've been battered. They've been broken down. Regain the ball. Sears takes a touch, slots it in from the half space, I might add. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. If there are some things that you identified that maybe I didn't touch upon or maybe I missed, please let me know in the comments below. If there are some things that you don't agree with, also leave me a comment down below with those thoughts. I love to have conversations, whether they're good, bad, beautiful, ugly. I think if we talk about the sport, especially the United States women's soccer, it just benefits the United States women's soccer and soccer for women as a whole. So let's have those conversations. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like. It helps so much. Subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content as well. If there's anything that you want me to break down in the future, also please leave it down in the comments below. Again, thank you so much if you made it this far, and I hope I can see you guys on the next one.